Good Sunday afternoon to all of you. I'm Ryan, Michigan Storm Chasers, back for an update video here on YouTube. This video is going to cover a multitude of topics, starting with what happened to our snowstorm overnight last night into the morning. We're also going to touch on what's to come, lake effect snow tomorrow, an Arctic blast is incoming, and then also look to the future, what the week could hold, and also the long term, what the month of February into perhaps March may bring. So perhaps a longer video today. So I'll timestamp it in the description below. Feel free to skip ahead if you want to skip certain topics. We'll go ahead and dive in, starting with what happened to our big snowstorm we've been calling for the past 4 or 5 days here at MSC. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So the main thing that we are going to talk about is the moisture. The reason a lot of our snow systems this past week too, even our first snow system back midweek, had a lot of dry air concerns, and that was also the case with this round as well. So the Gulf is our source of a lot of moisture here in Michigan, and these systems like to draw that moisture upwards. But in the event of last night, check out all the rain that was occurring across the Ohio Valley region here, from Kentucky to Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri. All of that rain really sucked in that moisture, and it really didn't allow anything to come further north. So we had a limited amount of moisture to work with that models did not handle properly leading up to the event. These models also, from about, we're going to say Thursday, Friday into Saturday, around that Thursday night, Friday period, most of the models were like, I'd say 80 to 90% agreeable on what was going to happen. And that was going to be a widespread significant snowstorm. I have not seen a system that has changed this much in this short amount of time in my 10 years of watching weather. It can happen, but usually those big shifts and big changes occur outside 3 days. When they occur inside that 3-day window, it's much more rare, and it also throws forecasters in for a loop. So a lot of forecasters, meteorologists across the state caught off guard by this system. The primary reason is there was a lack of moisture because the rain to the south of us was sucking all that moisture in, not allowing it to come further north that we needed for snow, as moisture is needed for snow, rain, as you probably know by now. So that is the main reason why our big snowstorm, this big 7 to 11 plus inches of snow, turned into more of a dusting to as much as 6 or 7 inches in some spots across southeast Michigan. But overall, we put a forecast out on YouTube and on Facebook last night that kind of showed those updated kind of thinking, and that did pan out pretty well. We had a good widespread, 2 to 6 inches across southeast Michigan. Further west didn't get much, but you guys are going to get some here in the next couple of days. We'll talk about that here in a second. But overall, the updated forecast did pan out. I know it was late, it was kind of last minute, but again, watching that moisture return as we started seeing signs that wasn't reaching us, we had to make a decision here to roll with our forecast or update. We decided to update, and disappointing. I know it's been a very disappointing winter for a lot of us here in Michigan. But overall, the dry air has just been a killer for these snowstorms. So that is why we did not get a lot of snow. So moving on to the forecast, we're going to first start off what we're going to look at next couple of days here. Well, lake effect snow will ramp up here for western and the UP, western parts of lower Michigan and the upper peninsula of the UP. Starting with the HRRR short-term guidance here, the system of snow is working out of the southeast Michigan as we speak. Lake effect snow will begin in the UP as well as western lower Michigan by afternoon today. This is at 3 o'clock this afternoon, so about 2 or 3 hours from now, snow should begin picking up. That will continue localized areas here going into tonight, overnight tonight, into Monday morning right here. It starts to taper off here, but then kind of ramps back up for Monday afternoon. So a good continuous lake effect snow event here, and water temperatures are still in the upper 30s. We're going to have the Arctic air coming in, so you get that really cold air with the warm lake waters. You get that temperature difference, you get lake effect snow. So that's why we're seeing lake effect snow continuing here for the next, we're going to say 48 to 72 hours here. So what are we calling for our forecast? Let's go ahead and look at the model first. Now, I will say, you guys might be skeptical. Well, if models are wrong, why are we looking at models for this system? And the reason is this is lake effect snow. Short-term models usually handle it pretty well. So let's go ahead and dive into this. This is the HRRR. We're going to be looking at, by the end of today, a widespread 1 to 2 across much of West Michigan. Up in the UP, localized higher swaths of 4, 5, 6 inches of possibility. Let's go ahead and move into the day on Monday. That continues to slowly accumulate, kind of picks up intensity there. By the time we get to Monday night, tomorrow night, we're seeing a good portion of West Michigan between 3 and 6 inches with isolated higher amounts possible. And do take note, some of the snow may try to reach across the 96, 94 corridors here Monday afternoon and evening. So we'll keep an eye on that. Also take note, further north in the UP, we have areas of close to a foot of snow in places. We're going to keep a close eye on that as well. But typical lake effect snow will ramp up here over the next couple of days. Accumulations will be moderate, we're going to say. And these models do usually handle lake effect snow because they're not ginormous systems like we had last night. These are more localized and easier to kind of pinpoint ranges, so to speak. So lake effect snow will ramp up here. We have a forecast that just got published to our members. It'll be out here publicly soon. You guys are probably seeing this as well. We're going 3 to 6 across much of West Michigan, 2 to 4 a little bit further eastward, 1 to 3 close to Jackson, Coldwater areas. That is just because lake effect bands may try to push inland. Lake effect snow showers could reach all the way over to places like Flint, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Port Huron. Again, that's highly dependent on our wind direction over the next 48 hours there. So snow showers a possibility, could get as much as an inch in some places, but majority of us will stay dry over the next couple of days. So going further north, 6 to 10 is the forecast from Munising, Grand Marais areas. Going further west, Ontonagon areas, 6 to 10. Elsewhere is just minor accumulations there of 1 to 3, 2 to 4, and 3 to 6 in the respective locations. So not a ginormous event, but I know West Michigan has been getting the cold shoulder from these last couple of snow systems. So hopefully this lake effect snow for you guys kind of makes up for it as an apology from Mother Nature. So that is our forecast here. Let's go ahead and talk about the future. Let's go ahead and flip over here to the European model right here. This is going to be the temperature wind chill, to be exact, over the next couple of days here. I'm going to walk you guys through the cold air incoming for the next couple of days, several days. Current time frame here, we're going to bring it right about here, which is noon. So right about now, we're going to see wind chills. Again, this is a wind chill map, not temperature. This is wind chills. Anything there in gray or aqua color is below 0. Zooming in, get a color gradient here, give you guys a better idea. There's your temperatures. So over here in Michigan, around red, we're teens and single digits. Purple, blue, single digits. And then gray is single digits below 0. So as we move into tonight, we're going to see that Arctic air continues to penetrate further south and east. And by the time we get to right around that midnight time frame into the 3, 4, 5 a.m., much of the state is below 0 with our wind chills. Likely going to see many areas well below 0, 10, negative 20, or sorry, I say negative 10 to negative 20, perhaps negative 30 in some spots, especially in the UP. The higher you go in Michigan, the further north you go in Michigan, the lower these temperatures are going to get. So that is tonight, but keep an eye out into tomorrow morning. The wind chills continue to remain below 0 into Monday night, into Tuesday morning, into Tuesday night. A prolonged period here, let's continue the model here through Tuesday, of wind chills well below 0 are likely. Wednesday, it kind of pulls back there. We're single digits for Wednesday, but then Wednesday night, here it all comes back again. And by the time we get to late week, those wind chills pull back, and we are left with a much more tolerable temperature pattern. So taking it all together, putting it into the forecast for our capital city, which is Lansing area, we're going to see the next several days here of cold temperatures starting Sunday, which is today, 26. We're going to see that Arctic blast here next couple of days. Air temperatures around 0 in the evenings of Tuesday, Wednesday are definitely a possibility. But then we're going to rebound toward the weekend to start the next week area. Mid-30s are coming back. And then to start March, we are seeing a warm-up. And that leads me to the next topic of discussion. This map here is your temperature averages here. As we can see, currently across much of the U.S., we are below average. Blues, greens, and purples are below average temperatures, and then the ones you see up in the top right there, the reds and oranges, are above average. So we're going to see this from the polar vortex splitting. We're going to see that kind of move in through the U.S., but then look what's behind it here to start the month of March. Warm temperature averages are being shown here on the European extended model. So what that tells us here is winter is losing its grip pretty fast here. We're going to end February a little bit warmer. We're going to start March quite warm. And when I say quite warm, I'm talking probably 40s and 50s perhaps. And that's going to continue to be the case throughout the month of March here. We're going to see the above average temperatures across much of the central U.S. Michigan kind of average, leaning above average at times. It's going to be pretty normal for the month of March here. But we get later into March, again, signals for warmer than average temperatures continue. So what we're kind of seeing right now is we're going to have one more week here of Arctic air temperatures. We're going to come back to normal. And then to end the month and to start March, a warm up is on the horizon here. We likely will be looking at temperatures much above average for a brief time to start the month of March. So that is the forecast. And also, one last thing I'll talk about here. Do we have any more snow systems on the horizon? Any big systems to watch? And the answer right now is really no, besides lake effect snow for tomorrow. Run the model here through the time frame. This is a European. This is a system that's moving through now and moves off to the east. Lake effect snow here for Monday and Tuesday being shown. A system will pass off to our south. So if you got friends down there by Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, perhaps even as far south as Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, some snow potential here for your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning time frame that will move off into the East Coast. Perhaps some light snow showers there for our Thursday. No big deal for us. And then we're going to be dry Friday, dry Saturday, and maybe a clipper system coming in for Sunday. We'll keep an eye on that. Should be pretty light in nature. But overall consensus of big major systems does not appear to be a possibility here. And by the time we get to the month of March, we are much warmer, and we're getting a lot of mixed systems again with perhaps rain chances, not freezing rain, just plain rain chances here as temperatures begin to climb into the 40s and 50s to end the month of February and to start March. So overall takeaway here, lake effect snow next 2 days, Arctic air for the week. Next weekend will warm up, and then to end the month and to start March, a bigger warm up is incoming for us, and no major systems on the horizon. Some smaller accumulations of snow could be possible throughout the week, next 10 or 15 days, but generally speaking, no major winter systems on the horizon to track. All right, with that being said, I'm going to pop out of here. Before I do, shout out to today's sponsor of the video, Pro Powder, 269-637-8722, based out of South Haven, Michigan. They do powder coating needs for residential or commercial uses. Thank you to Pro Powder for sponsoring today's video. Appreciate you guys watching the channel. We'll be back here tomorrow for another update video here at Michigan Storm Chasers.